Ladies and gentlemen, I am not special. Nothing about me or the area that I have recorded in are special or different than the area you live in. Everything you hear and see in this video can be recorded and documented anywhere and everywhere. In your home, your neighbor's home, a gas station, an empty building, etc. People are either sensitized to hear this audio or they are not. I am documenting and showing people what is actually in audio recordings. Any and all audio recordings capture evidence. Even if you can't hear it on the initial playback, it is there, either as surface audio or in the ambient noise of the recording. Unlike many people out there, I am not hearing this stuff while awake. I can only hear this during the playback of the recordings. However, I believe most, if not all people, are hearing this stuff during sleep. If it didn't work or have a purpose, it would not be there. This is not paranormal. It is technology. Goblins do not talk about surveillance, police, or other topics that resemble Guantanamo Bay tactics. This is not an accident. I have been recording and documenting this type of audio for over a decade now. So if you step back and look at this properly, this is much more fascinating than some open-ended mystery, like chuckleheads running around with toy apps on their phones and claiming that dead people are talking to them. All of this garbage is slowing down the progress of all mankind. I'm not telling you that the paranormal doesn't exist. I'm telling you that the paranormal is much more elaborate and intense than some misinterpreted recordings by people who don't know what they're doing. The idea that someone's dead uncle is lingering around so that he can make statements about what you're doing is ridiculous at best, and deceptive and dangerous at worst. Think about all the people that you've known throughout your life, then ask yourself, how many of them would love to have control or influence over people if they could do it and get away with it? And if you're honest with yourself, the number of those people is probably pretty high. So thank you for watching. We now have 15,000 subscribers and people are starting to understand this, and I want to thank you all for that. Okay, before we get into this, let me explain to you what was going on. The last time I showed recordings from this residence, there was a little bit of stuff left in the house. I was sleeping on a mattress. There were a few things left in the house. This time, there is nothing in the house at all. I was taking one last look around. This is my childhood home. This is where I grew up. It was my father's home until he passed away. I've spent the last year of my life cleaning it out, and it was quite a task. And you always feel like you're forgetting something. So I went back there and I'm looking around and just taking it in and seeing if there's anything that I may have forgotten. Maybe a charger plugged into the wall or anything like that. I was just looking around. So while doing that, I decided to record. I was there for about an hour. What I caught was some amazing stuff. And coincidentally, it backs up everything that I've been talking about with the whole paranormal shenanigans going on online and in general, and people trying to blame things on the paranormal. We're going to get into this. I actually don't have that many clips to show you, but out of these few clips, it's very important stuff, and it goes to show you exactly what is going on with this stuff. Now, you heard the disclaimer. I don't need to say it anymore. I'm just going to start popping that disclaimer into every video that I make like this. And let me state that there are no electronics plugged in the home at all. The power is still on. The gas is still on. But there are no alarm systems. There are no other electronics plugged in the home. Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And anything that is plugged in, I have unplugged because I am leaving. I can't go back there after this. So I wanted to make sure that it was all taken care of. So with that said, let's get into what I caught in this audio. First things first, when I looked at this spectrally, you can see the average sound in the house, right? Then there's a big blank space here between 12,000 and 20,000 hertz, just over 20,000 hertz. Let's look at this real quick. Here, between 19,000 and around 21,000 hertz, or 21 kilohertz, there is a lot of noise going on. There's a significant signal there, for real. That is something to note. If you look, that is a large band, and it's very loud, which is strange. Shouldn't be there. So there is ultrasound in the home for no reason. That is one thing I noticed when looking at this spectrally. There is also a significant amount of infrasound as well. Another thing that I noticed is about halfway through the recording, the entire recording changed and started to get this almost like a slapback delay to it. I've talked about this before. It almost sounds like everything is coming through a can. Very strange. I didn't hear this with my ears. I heard it on the playback of the recording. So let me show you what blows all the paranormal shit and everything right out of the water. So here, there's going to be blank space, you know, just background noise. And then all of a sudden, a voice is going to come in quickly that almost sounds like a CB. What it sounds like it says quickly is, the house is the white one, which it is. So let's check it out. Which, you know, alludes to some type of surveillance or something, right? Now, there's a kicker to this. Let me loop this for a second. The house is the white one. Here's the house. But there's a tech beep, almost like a CB response right after that. You know how people will talk on a walkie-talkie or a CB and it will beep afterward? It's like it has its own signature. Check this out. That is technology. There is nothing plugged in at that home. There is nothing running. Let me turn it up. 6 decibels. So when this voice comes in and jumps up, you can hear a tech beep directly afterwards. Now, this doesn't happen once, it happens more than once. I'm just going to show you 2 of them. So here's the second time. A voice comes in here and says something. And it's another type of beep. And it has an echo to it, but like a lot of these sounds, you can't hear it with your ears, you hear it on the recording's playback. Interesting, but this gets really, really heavy. Stick around. I was kind of provoking it towards the end, saying, you know, this is it. I'm leaving. I'm never coming back. If you got anything to say it now. You know, shit like that. Just kind of fucking around, really. And here I say, all right. And then a voice comes in directly after that and says something. Check it out. All right. That's me. I say, all right. All right. And then a voice comes in right here. And it sounds like there's a printer running behind it almost, right? But it gets crazier. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, in this clip, I say, this is it. I'll see you later. This is it. I'll see you later. And you're going to hear a bunch of voices through here. But then a voice comes in here loudly and says, you'll come back. Now, do you hear how robotic it sounds? Yo, come back. Like it's a robo voice, right? Like Intergalactic from the Beastie Boys. You'll come back. After that shift that I was talking about, the shift in the sound where it started getting that slapback, that is when these voices started and didn't stop the entire time I was there until I left. Now, in this clip, I'm walking around the house. It's empty, so it sounds very empty. You can hear my shoes on the floor. And you're going to hear a voice come in right here. It's a high frequency voice, and it sounds like something you can get to meet more kids. And my boot steps are behind it. And then I keep walking. And then Here are a bunch of garbled voices within this, just chattering on. Now, robo voices galore. At this point, I say goodbye. 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 And then the robo voice comes in here, and it sounds like it says, "Why don't you get some damn sunshine?" I listened to it about 50 times, and it's really what it sounds like. Why don't you get some damn sunshine? They're very strange. These are like intergalactic Beastie Boys voices. For real. Listen to Intergalactic and then come back and listen to this. Then another one comes in here. And they're to a note. They are droning to a note. All of them. And then this one comes in, it's a different type of voice, and it says something about coming back or something, but it's more prominent. But after hearing those tech sounds in the beginning, it's not so paranormal, right? Because he's back something. Now at this point, infrasound voices began making weird sounds in the recording. Check this out. Now, voices behind that, a much clearer voice, sounds like it says, "with David." And this sounds like David, too. And again, there is nothing in this home at all. Now, here's another tech sound I want to show you. There are garbled voices in this that sound like whispers, right? But there is a water droplet tech sound that almost sounds like almost like a chat program or something, right? Like a chat app that uses those type of sound effects, and it's in there, just like the other tech sounds. It's right here. And it's totally audible, just like the rest of them. So something is going on here. Is it ghosts and ghoulies using technology? No. Now here are a bunch of voices. There's a voice here. Then there's a voice here. Now there are a bunch of voices whispering here. Very, very strange, right? Now, a very close and human sounding voice is right here. I'm getting the keys together to leave. A female comes in and it almost sounds like she says, "Oh my God," in a very breathy, almost sexual way. Check it out. And there's no one there. It's just me. And here I am, you know, fumbling with my keys, because I've got like 3 sets of keys right now, 4 sets. And here I am fumbling, trying to find the right key, and a female comes in and says, "Oh my God." And there's more. There's a more robotic voice there. Sounds like it's his estate. something like that. And there's more. It's chocked full of voices. I'm only showing you a few. Now I'm going to show you a couple more intergalactic voices, and then I'm out of here. I'm probably going to do a part 2 of this because there is a lot of audio in this, and it's a perfect example of an empty house with nothing in it. Here are some more intergalactic voices talking, and it just kind of rambles on and rambles on for about 10 seconds. And that could get right past you in a recording. This is all surface audio, all of it, and that could get right past you unless you listen to it, you know, at least more than once and caught it. It almost sounds like a laugh. So there you go. You know, the most important parts of this recording are the tech sounds, because it totally gives it away. Completely and totally gives it away. There's no possible way that a voice can come in and talk about the house is something. I think it says the house is the white one. And then a tech beep directly afterward. That sounds like communication. Come on, man. This is no different than when you hear that beeping, like if somebody's gaming online and they hear the beep come from somebody else's recording, or somebody's recording when they're recording on YouTube and you can hear that high beep, and somebody will say, change your battery, you know, your smoke alarm's going off, and they can't hear that. It's only in the recording because the recording picks it up, because that is part of this technology. When you hear that beep that people think is a smoke alarm and it isn't, that is part of this technology. I used to catch it all the time. I haven't caught it in this home or that home in a long, long time, but I used to catch it all the time. And then there's the other one that I caught. The house is flooded with ultrasound, low ultrasound, we saw that. So there is something going on here, and it is not paranormal, but it is excellent evidence to show what is actually going on and that it is technology behind it. I'm going to miss this house. I wanted to keep it. I couldn't keep it. I had to be a big boy and let it go, and it sucks. It really sucks. But that's it for now. Look out for Charlie. That's it for now. Look out for Charlie.
Oh, man. I like this kid. This fucking guy's crazy.
Look out for Charlie.
I want that son of a bitch dead. I want him dead.